podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Hey, Daddy, this a dollar beat.
BoxingVoice.com. No matter what nobody say, man. Spirit, can't nobody fuck with me, man. You know, I can't be fucked with, you know.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
Whether you pay to see me win or you pay to see me lose, you're gonna pay. Fuck it, the kids still gotta eat. I don't have to watch, you know, any footage of a fighter. I mean, because I'm Floyd Mayweather, everybody gotta watch me. I knew eventually I was gonna have to fight Oscar, but I feel like he was straight up and down, no special effects. BoxingVoice.com. How can Canelo have the biggest deal? Your deal is for $300 million, and I made $350 million just in one fight. And you're fighting on the app. BoxingVoice.com. I'm a king, okay? I eat a feast. Every time I eat a feast. And when I get up from the table, I don't give a fuck who get the leftovers. At the end of the day, follow my green print.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing boys.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs, joined alongside Alexander Lionez, and we are going to be talking who's got next, who's on the come up. We're going to be discussing 5 rising champions under the age of 25 that are ready to become future superstars. But can they? Now, this article is one by Brian Campbell. Shout out to Brian Campbell of CBS Sports Network. Used to be with ESPN. Good guy. Been on the show. Listens to the show. And basically, he asks, who's got next? Who's got next? It's tough to be the next Floyd Mayweather or Canelo, but these 5 have the best chances to do so, according to Brian Campbell. So we'll break this down and we'll see, did he leave someone off the list, or are there any others out there that have the potential to be a superstar, or as Campbell put it, the next Floyd or the next Canelo? So this is what we're talking about. If you're interested, you already know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs from anywhere in the world. Let me head on out to New Jersey. Let's get this thing started.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match.
Chip! Good morning, y'all. Yeah, 25, huh? A lot of fighters right now that are promising under 25. I know we got the top 5 right now we might talk about, but who knows? We might talk about a few other prospects that might be promising stars, right? And yeah, like I always say, get your cup of coffee ready if you're across the pond, and tea is what you fancy. Get that ready. We're going to talk about these young future stars. Initially, when the topic ran about, I misunderstood it a little bit. I thought it was 25 prospects that look to be promising stars, but they were talking about what's in the immediate trajectory, I guess, in the next 5 years. But a lot can happen in 5 years, right? These other prospects that are probably not as known can catch up to the likes of Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, but these are the guys that got next on that stardom. They're already champs. My man Teofimo's a champ, Shakur's a champ, so they're on their way. They're trying to capture greatness right now, and we'll see who's got first, right? Who's going to become the future star? I mean, we definitely know that these guys are going to be future stars, but who's got first. And, you know, I'm going to name a couple of other notable prospects, right? I know Ness is going to say, well, they ain't got next, but you just never know, right? You just never know how fast some of these prospects could be moved up. You know, and they're young. Everybody's under 25. I think that more than ever, you're starting to see a lot of young fighters right now. And, you know, guys like Xander Zayas, you know, Vito Emelianecki, who is, I think, on his third knockout. You know, these guys are making, you know, a lot of noise. Joey Spencer, we had him on the show the other day, you know, and, you know, plenty of other guys. I know my man Intrigue, and I have a liking towards Jaron Ennis. You know, we believe he's a future star. He's a notable mention. Virgil Ortiz, he's another notable mention. And, you know, the list, there's more to the list, but, you know, I'll just be waiting to, you know, kick it back with Ness to see what he thinks on what positioning they got. Because some of these guys are, you know, got promotions, good promotions that are backing them up. You know, Richard Hitchens, you know, he got Money May backing him up. You have Edgar Berlanga. You know, he's a 13 KOs in the first round. Another, I think, guy that just never know that could be moved up fast. But yeah, Ness.
Yeah, so I was going to say, before we get into the article, give me your list. So I heard Joey Spencer, Edgar Berlanga. Who else is on? Because you compiled a 25-person list. So I guess you think 25 of these guys can be superstars, or you're just picking 25 prospects that are hot?
Well, they're hot. I wanted to really go over the list with you so you could kind of tell me where do you place them as far as, you know, lining up into stardom. You know, some of these guys are a little more flashy, you could say, or a little more out there in the media, like Instagram following, and all things like that matter nowadays. So I just wanted to get like a ranking on that, you know, because there's a lot of guys that could look good, you know, out there, you know, like Virgil Ortiz. He's a guy coming up. You know, he has Golden Boy. He has a certain appeal, but does he have a lot of, you know, appeal in the media, which, you know, that's something we always talk about now. So it's like, I got to mention it. But you got a guy like Edgar Berlanga, who is really good in the ring, and he has all this media attention. You know, he has rappers in New York, my man Fat Joe, and all, you know, he has a lot of good PR around him. So it's like, you just never know where stardom can shoot out of. So I just compiled this list because I said, hey, a lot of these guys look promising, but you're right. Not all of them would be stars, you know? Not all of them would be stars, but
Virgil Ortiz was on the honorable mention list by Brian Campbell, so he didn't make the top 5, but he made honorable mention along with Jaron Boots Ennis, who's 25-0 with 23 KOs, and he even put Daniel Dubois, the heavyweight that's 14-0 with 13 KOs, as his 3 honorable mentions.
So the list I put down, I had them like from youngest to oldest in the under 25. That's why I had Xander Zayas first. He's the youngest one. I believe he's 17. I don't know if he's older than that now.
Doesn't he only have like 3-4 fights maybe?
Yeah. He's not the top of the list because I believe that he's the next star. I just had them in that order from youngest to oldest. So Xander Zayas was like, you know, one of the youngest, like Gabriel Flores. And
But your list is what? Is it just prospects or guys that you think are gonna be a star?
No. I had the whole list because I had it from youngest to oldest, and then I picked out names that I thought that were gonna, you know, be promising stars, like Joey Spencer. I think Joey Spencer, you know, could be a star in the future. You know, he has you know, he's undefeated. He's an American, 9-time, I think, champ, national champ, amateur champ. So it's like he's had a lot of eyes on him for a while. I think he has good backing. Edgar Berlanga. I think that Edgar's just, you know, he's the whole package. I guess we just need to see him in like a good fight where we can, you know, start saying, hey, man, he's ready for those next levels. I said Richard Hitchens, man, because I really think Richard Hitchens got some star power in him. You know, we don't see him out as much, I guess, as the others in the media. But he's a cool kid, respectable. You know, if you ever get to meet him, man, he's down to earth. Definitely a people's champ material. So I think that he was one of them. And then I had like I said, it's a 25 list. I had Gervonta Ennis. You know, I'm big on Gervonta Ennis. I think Bottas is going to give everybody the Bottas, but I guess he still has to make a lot of people out there a believer. Some of the heavyweights was Daniel Dubois, which you mentioned already. Had Amma Williams in there, and Efe Ajagba for another heavyweight. I don't know how you feel about him. I know you don't like the fact that he got knocked down, but I guess
you mentioning dudes that I'm interested in. I just don't know that they have star power. Like the opening paragraph of the article is, and I quote.
Before you came on, I told everyone that it was really what the topic that you really had at hand was for the next 5-year trajectory.
Yeah,
and that's why you had Ryan and Haney and the other guys that are basically champs already. They have belts, so I don't even put them in prospect position really.
Well, again, you see, my title says Rising Champions. Ryan isn't a champion, but the author put him in that category of rising prospects. But all those guys are champs. But Dominique, good morning. How are you? Obviously, once you tell us that, let us know, who do you think are your top 5 guys that in 5 years could or should be a star?
Good morning. Y'all gonna be mad at me. I don't have a list.
Off top, it's not easy. Anybody that stands out, anybody making noise coming across your timeline, as Casual Fan likes to say, who's popping up on your timeline that isn't already a superstar, but you see something in them?
But where I was getting confused at was like, what are the quantifiers? Like, how are we measuring this? Is it they're underpaid right now? They can't have a belt, or is this like, you're on the map, but you're not a superstar?
I think it's more like you are on the map and you have that potential. We see the potential in you, quote unquote, according to Brian Campbell, being the next Floyd or the next Canelo. We're always looking for the next great to carry the torch, right?
Okay, so it just is so tough because it's like, I feel like it's so premature, but I definitely will put Shakur Stevenson on my list. Devin Haney on my list. I like, who is that one guy? So he may be washed already. That's what I don't know, but y'all let me know.
Who?
The Luis Ortiz, the heavyweight.
I don't know if he's washed, but he's definitely withering away by not staying as active as he should.
But I really like him as a fighter, and I feel like I don't know. I mean, maybe because he lost to Wilder or whatever, like why he can't jump over into just some major promotional fights. But I think he's a really good fighter.
But do you think he can be a star though? Like, the question here is superstar next 5 years. Luis Ortiz will be 46, 45 in the next 5 years.
See,
he's gonna be Mike Tyson. He ain't gonna
make it. He's not gonna make it. Okay, but again, I will put him on my list as people that I would like. This is a dream list, so I would like it. So it can be bad.
Under 25 years old. Under 25. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I don't have those.
So you had a good one with Shakur. He's under 25 and he's a champ already. Devin Haney too. He's a rise.
Like, I don't even know any other. Oh, you know what? Can I say Montana Love? Can I say that? How old is he?
I mean, you could definitely say him. It'll fit more to the article of the author, who called it, prospects. He said his title was 5 rising prospects, but after reading it, it didn't make sense. Teofimo's the IBF champion. Devin Haney is the WBC champion. Shakur Stevenson is the WBO champion. The only one on this list that isn't a champion is Ryan. So it's like, a bit unfair to say prospects.
Yeah. That's why it was confusing to me. I didn't understand. Was it like megastar prospect? I was so confused.
Well, I think it's because if you read the article, he's kind of picking them apart, not in a negative way, but basically saying, look, yes, this guy is a belt holder, but he's not necessarily a champion. He hasn't been tested. Like, he gives his pros and cons to everybody. We'll start with number 5. And, I'm going to skip his summarization of Ryan Garcia and go straight to the pros and cons. He says the pros for Ryan Garcia are lightning quick hands and good pop to go along with his growing 5'10" frame, which is tall. So that means he can become a welterweight. His matinee idol looks and cocky swagger could help him surpass everyone on the list in terms of stardom, in terms of stardom, should his talent catch up quick enough with his marketability. And obviously marketability is all the millions of followers that he has on Instagram. But the cons are, according to Brian Campbell of CBS, is that we have yet to see his chin tested, really. He hasn't been in any serious fights. I think that everyone was excited for the Linares fight because that would have been the biggest step up, but now it looks like Linares won't be able to make it over here in July because of travel ban, so it's no longer Linares, but he needs to be tested. But do you guys have any pros or cons you want to add to the list for Ryan?
I just think when it comes to taking it to the level of a superstar, I think you can be a superstar without being tested. I mean, that's hype, right? That's why I'm getting confused. Are we saying like legend boxer, or are we saying like mega pay-per-view superstar? Like, to me, those things are different.
I think they're kind of almost in the same, right? Because you could be a superstar, like you said, without being tested, but then you get that one fight that you have to give the public, and your reign is over. So that means
but you going to lose your superstar status over that? Like, is Anthony Joshua not a superstar to his fans?
No, but that's different. That's a bad example because he's been tested along the way. So we're trying to say, imagine crowning Ryan right now some sort of pay-per-view star. I mean, what happens if he loses? Crazy. Like, he hasn't fought anybody at all, anybody of note. He hasn't, like, no one's been main event worthy. Romero, Duro, who the hell? Like, nobody's been main event worthy. And all of a sudden, you do a pay-per-view and it's successful, but you lose. Are you a star? I don't know. I give
Ryan the pros that the article had already mentioned. And if I want to add to that, I guess, him being in the Reynoso camp is good. All that luster. Excuse me, and having that relationship with Canelo adds all more stardom to his ability to reach out to different markets or whatnot. But he hasn't fought anybody yet. He's I think that the at the bottom of the totem pole from this top 5 as being like a certified star, because he hasn't fought anybody that has allowed us to believe in him to be a superstar. I mean, you're gonna get tested no matter what. Somebody that's holding the belt, it's got to be a great fight. It's just you're going to get tested eventually, and he hasn't been tested. He needs to be tested. In Linares' fight, that was his test. Now it's not happening. Who are they going to put in the ring with him next for us to believe in him? That's the real question.
So, okay, and I'm still like on the same thing, because it's like if you look at Adrian Broner, he was tested by whom before like his series of losses? Like what
I mean, he had a lot of little tests along the way. He fought Daniel Ponce de Leon. I didn't think he passed that test, but he fought Ponce de Leon. He fought Paulie Malignaggi. He was tested along the way. But even he, right, like his first fight was supposed to be Marcos Maidana on pay-per-view, and it ended up being regular Showtime. So they pulled the brakes from him. But I get what you're saying. Is Broner a star even in a loss? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He's a superstar. He's going to sell tickets if he wins or if he loses. And to me, that's what, like the businesswoman in me is, that's what I look for in a superstar. Not somebody who, winning is definitely a part of it. Absolutely a part of it. But how can you get loyalty from people you don't know, no matter what your life circumstances are? To me, that's a superstar.
I mean, Terrence Crawford is pretty much out of he doesn't really put himself out there too much on the media. So where do you kind of put him at?
I think Terrence Crawford. That's Bud, right?
Yeah.
I be getting him and Tevin Farmer confused, like by name, not by face, but by names. I be having to check because I be calling Terrence Bud, but
That's
people,
rich. You get Terrence Crawford confused with Tevin Farmer.
by name, not by face. Like I be thinking of one and then I'll say like the other one's name, right? But Bud, I think from a casual fan perspective, he just has a lot of appeal outside of the ring. I mean, he comes across as a family man, always with his family, keep his circle tight. I like that. He's let us into his life. What he lacks in TBV interviews. You can really go on and Google him and just go right into his living room and see how he lives and where his heart is. So I think that's his appeal. Even though he's not in the media a whole lot, I think he's given us exactly what casual fans need to stay connected to him. And I think that telling a story that's the other thing. You got to have a story to be a superstar. And sometimes the story is your talent. Sometimes the story is, hey, you're the underdog. You lost your belt. You're getting your belt back, or your mom, really wanted you to box and your grandfather taught you. But the story early on in your career is what's going to get the buy-in. And I think that's another thing that Bud has is a really good story. And so I think that would carry him in a win or a loss.
Nice.
So next up is Devin Haney. Pros for Devin Haney are highlight reel knockouts, slick boxing. Haney can literally do it all, according to Brian Campbell. Of all the fighters on this list, he has the brightest ceiling as it pertains to his pound-for-pound potential. So even though he hasn't seen him face anyone of note, he sees the eye test in him that people like to, give other fighters. The cons, he was essentially gifted the 135-pound title. I think this is disrespectful. The way that writers and people like to summarize this situation, he was the mandatory. It's not his fault. This is what I'm saying. People like to have the same energy for Charlo because it's Canelo and he represents life-changing money. But because here in this situation is Devin and Vasil, it just goes up by the wayside, gets swept under the carpet. Only Canelo haters talk about the fact that he's franchise, where Vasil accepted and requested franchise status. So for this writer to say, he was essentially gifted, and then he says, controversial decision to name Vasil Lomachenko its franchise champion, meaning that Haney never had to capture the belt from an established champion. Like, you don't have to write any of that, especially not that way. You want to write the truth. You say Vasil requested and did not want to face Haney. That is the truth. Not the way you're trying to word it for I don't know who. But whatever. He goes on to say also his decision to align himself with Eddie Hearn and Dazn could keep him out of facing welterweight fighters and competing across the street in quotations with the PBC once he moves up in weight. So that is his con, being on the wrong side of the street and essentially never winning his title from a true champion. Meanwhile, I never seen anyone write about Bud Crawford winning a vacant title versus a non-worthy Thomas Delorme whenever he did it many years ago. But, people pick and choose who they want to ridicule.
Yeah, sometimes you can't even control too much of the politics as a fighter. You're just kind of following along for what's being, put into play. So yeah, some of this is probably a little like not misleading, but like biased. Look, maybe a little biased, maybe. But yeah, Devin Haney, he's already a star in my eyes, man. He's
got it all.
Like he's out there with Money May now. Like he's just all over the media. People know him. Rappers know him. Sports stars know him. It's his dad has done a hell of a job. So yeah, he's a star. I think he's in the limelight right now.
Facts. That's my nickname for Devin Haney, Young Swagger.
Young Swagger.
He got it all. Young Swagger, man. He's bringing young swagger to boxing.
Yeah, man. His link up with Floyd is becoming historic. People have already asked him. He hasn't asked Floyd to train him full time, but Floyd is certainly taking him under his wing and simultaneously, in my opinion, purposely making Gervonta Davis, who's also on this list, upset. Floyd yet again was on a day trip with Devin Haney yesterday. They went to see his private jet and his new $10 million Vegas mansion. So, yeah, Haney's got it made. He's with the right people. Once again, my only issue are the cons. You can't fault Haney for signing a co-promotion deal and making $1 million before the quote-unquote star in the division, Gervonta Davis. Like, again, this writer is wilding. Like, oh, he's on the other side of the street, so that's a con. Like, that he messed up. But how he mess up when Tank been out here hustling and bustling longer than him and just about to make $1 million when he finally fights Leo? Meanwhile, Devin out here making $1 million versus my cousin from Santo Domingo that I don't even know his name. Like, stop playing games. You know what I'm saying? People need to learn the sport, man. People lead with criticism instead of thinking first. But Teofimo, the next one on the list, and I think the order is going properly. Teofimo doesn't have the problems that everyone else has where he needs to be tested. He took on the tough veteran champion in Richard Comey and flattened him. But according to this writer, the pros are already a married man. Lopez is incredibly mature for a fighter his age and has navigated some difficult family drama to get to the top. He's also learned a hard lesson from a distracted and flat decision victory over unbeaten Masatoshi Nakatani last July that proved to be a blessing in disguise. Cons, we still don't know if Lopez is more style than substance when it comes to his pure ability to box when he needs to. It's also too early to tell whether the influence of his father and the aggressive matchmaking will prove to be more harmful to his career than helpful, which I agree.
Aggressive matchmaking, you think?
Bro, he went to, in his 14th fight, he fought Comey, and now he's going to fight Vasil. You don't think that's aggressive for a kid? It's different when we talk about Vasil. Vasil's a two-time Olympic gold medalist. He's an older man. You got the excuses that come pre-written, like, oh, he's 30, so he's got to rush.
But you got the same energy with Devin and Lomachenko? I mean, I'm not feeling the same
Devin has
energy.
way more fights. You're not doing your research.
Yeah, but counting his amateur pedigree, which is a lot of fights. They
both have the same amount of amateur fights.
The same amount? Really?
Yeah. If not, Devin got more. And remember that in-ring pro experience is not amateur experience. Devin got more fights by how many?
All right, but like who's faced the tougher opposition?
We just established that it's Teofimo.
All right, so but he's shown that he's in line. It's like you tell my man Tyson Fury, he comes out the woodwork fat and all messed up, and he comes back and he gives Deontay Wilder a hell of a fight. Then he beats him. It's like, I mean, I'm not counting it as a timeline, but it's like if you could fight, you can fight.
Listen, I understand.
He's proved it.
I understand that he has been tested and passed, and I understand that the both of you share Honduran descent, but that does not take away from the fact that his resume indicates he is being fast-tracked. Like the author says, whether that proves to be an issue or not, we'll find out.
So how fast, all right, in your opinion, how fast has it been if it's, when
was
his real test?
In my opinion, listen to me. If I wasn't Nestor Gibbs and I didn't think so little of Vasil Lomachenko, I would be top-ranking Lopez to fight Haney, Gervonta, the other guys, not the two-time Olympic gold medalist, multiple division world champion with a resume that indicates he makes people quit. But I don't believe in him. I think all that's a facade and great matchmaking, so I'm okay with Teofimo going in there. But that doesn't mean that I believe he's going to win. I just believe he stands a damn good chance because, again, I don't think as highly as the rest of the world with Vasil, especially not at 135. Let's be clear. My negativity comes of him trying to be a man at 135. Stick to 126. 135 is not for you.
It's like the story that it's like the story's been told already, right? You got the young lion that has to take out the old lion. I don't think it's too much. How do you say not too much risk because there is a risk. There's not too much surprise.
You're right. But traditionally, you see this happen in your 20-something fight, not your 15th fight. You're not going for unification with the pound for pound, arguably number 1 or 2 in your 15th fight. This is great for him in the sense of making history, but the author still has a point. We'll see.
Absolutely.
I think it's good.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dominique.
No, I was just saying I think it's good. I like that. I like when they fast track fight. I think Gervonta is going too slow. Like I really like when fighters are fast track. Like Anthony Joshua, he was fast track, right?
Yes, yeah. In a sense, but again, Joshua faced Charles Martin, and then he didn't go undisputed in his second world championship fight. Teofimo fought Richard Comey, already a better champion than Charles Martin. And then his second fight as a champion, he's going to go unify with Vasil, already in a 10 times greater fight than Anthony Joshua's.
That's mega speed.
Yeah.
Look, but you know what, Ness? Would you agree? There's been a surge of young fighters. It's like the new wave. There's a lot of young fighters trying to move fast. You got my man Shakur shouting out, chasing greatness. I don't want no small fights. I'm ready for everybody. Yeah. Everybody that seems to think they're ready.
But Shakur ain't fighting Vasil. Shakur was on this show a week ago telling you that Vasil's a tough fight, that he sparred Vasil 24 rounds, and it's a tough fight. That's not what Shakur doing. Shakur calling out the people in his division and around his division, and he's being careful not to be too brashful, right? Because we've put the Gary Russell question there. He's open to it, but he ain't got that Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence smoke on it. If that makes any sense.
Anybody who's trying to go fast track and they're young, I agree. It's like, why wait? I mean, go out there, get
why
to the
wait?
top.
Because if you don't follow the plan of the masterminds before you, you may not be able to become the next Floyd. If you're Shakur, who made Floyd? Bob Arum. Who is Shakur with? Bob Arum.
And he stated that that's why he actually went with Bob over Mayweather's, because it's like, why would I go with Mayweather when I can go with the guy who made Mayweather? But I mean, yeah, follow the plan. I get that, but no, I'm like, go fast. Why wait? I mean, boxing is a dangerous sport. You're not guaranteed the next fight. I mean, I know as fans, we just act like these fighters are invincible. They are not. Like, you can be seriously injured. The first boxing fight that I ever watched was a rising prospect who got severely injured in that fight, and I never saw him fight again. So it's like, go for what you know, get your money, get your hype, get out there, and don't put yourself in too much danger. I know it's funny when you start playing with weight and all that stuff going up and down, but find something that makes sense for you and dominate.
It's like Daniel Dubois. We had Sam on here saying that they're tracking him too fast.
Yeah,
that he's gonna run into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's certain situations where that is very true. But I guess we just got to see in who we believe in. I guess. I mean, if you believe in that fighter, in that young fighter, and you believe that he can win, we're gonna believe in him. But I guess he has to give us substance. And for me, not just because he's Honduran, Tio has given me that sustenance in taking on Richard Comey and taking him out the way he did. That was very impressive. So
for me, I look at it different. Even though I give Teofimo all the credit in the world and it was fantastic. I mean, you couldn't put a better, exclamation point to the night. But I would have liked to see him get rounds. I would have liked to see Comey hit him and him do and react the way Fury did to Wilder. Fury third fight, he took that punch like, you ain't hit me, champ. So we ain't see that yet. Did T.O.'s power, what we already knew, help him in this situation? Absolutely. We don't know. We're going to find out with Vasil. If he can't put Vasil away, we know Vasil could go rounds. We know Vasil lets his hands go. But let's not stay stuck on Hondurianville. Let's move it on to America's own Gervonta Tank Davis.
Woo, woo.
According to Leonard Ellerby, the biggest fight at 135, the only pay-per-view fight at 135 pounds. He is your WBA regular champion. So according to the author, the pros for Tank are he has been described as the Mike Tyson of the lower weight classes, given his explosive power and seems to possess a stronger ability to box than many of his biggest fights have demanded from him. Cons, without question, Davis' most dangerous opponent is himself. Having been no stranger to troubles with the law, including a recent viral video appearing to show him strike a woman in public, which is not true. He yoked her up. See what I'm saying about authors and how they want to write shit? Everybody know he yoked up, and in layman's terms, that means, grabbed her by her shirt, kind of like, he ain't
He
strike
shook
her.
her. He shook her.
Yeah, you could say shook her, grabbed her, and lifted her up on her feet, but to say strike, even if you're an MMA fan, is throw a punch. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Moving forward, he says he has also had a consistent issue making weight. Davis must prove his focus and professionalism are on par with his potential as a breakout star. So according to him, his only flaws are not being able to make weight and stay focused. Do you guys see any other pros and cons other than Tyson-like power and not being able to make weight?
That's another guy that I'm just saying, like, yo, you surprised me when you said that Devin Haney got paid $1 million before him. Like,
yep.
Is that what I heard? I thought he was getting paid $1 million already. Like, I just thought he was that like popping. But I think that he is a superstar. I think he's not done yet. He's look, man, just like Pretty Boy Floyd evolved into Money May, I see the same things happening to Gervonta Davis. Just getting more mature and more mature. Just like any of us, man. Especially these young fighters, you get hit with so much so fast that, you're going to trip along the way. Lucky and blessings and props to those who don't, manage to stay all perfect. That's not perfect because nobody's perfect, but as clean as possible throughout their careers or whatnot. But he's a star. He's going to be in big fights. And I think that he's going to be there first than the other ones.
He got big flash, like he's picture flashy, right? So that is definitely a superstar quality to me, because you don't got to give me a highlight reel. All you got to do is like be at the fight and get a picture, and then it's just like, who is that guy? Like, he got that appeal. But you gotta stay away from the personal controversy. Can we just? I don't care if it was a strike, if it was a yoke, whatever. Like, why am I always crushed as a casual fan when I really want somebody to win by their personal lives? Like, I don't know if it's like they need to be more private, or like, is there some type of program within boxing that can help people, if they have like anger issues or to manage their money? I know other sports have that. Like, they have like little things that the athletes go through to kind of help them manage life a little better. But to me, it's like there's always a correlation with the flashy fighter, the one with all the swagger, and then all the life controversy.
All right, so I got some facts. Looks like Davis did make $1 million in the Ruiz fight, so I'm pulling that up. And Ruiz was 2019, so I'm pulling up Devin Haney's box rec to see when he got his milli and see if I'm still right. But wait till I tell you his purses. Jeez Louise. No wonder he thinks Mayweather don't like him. So Tank fought Ruiz in July 2019. Oh, no, that's not Ruiz. That's Nunez. He fought Ruiz in February 2019. So he might have. We got to ask. We're going to have that. Was it? I'm going to have to Google Devin. Hold on, because I think Devin made it for the Zabdu Alayev fight, right? Let's find out. Or was that the vacant interim? That was interim. Then he got elevated. How'd that work out? Let me just double check one more time. But for facts, real quick, I got the purses for you. His title shot. For those of you that don't agree when I say make your own lane, see? Tank, no, coming from the mud in a city, he bet on himself. Someone guess on this panel what Tank made when he first beat Pedraza for his world title.
Damn, man, 500.
Chat, what you say? 500,000? What do you think? Dominique. Did she freeze?
I think she kind of froze.
Oh, you did.
Frizzy.
She did with the head down, frozen, gone. All right, well, you're 75 thou.
What?
Yeah, 75 thou.
He.
And then guess what? For Fonseca, how much you think he made? Which was August 2017, right after that fight with Pedraza as a champ.
He had to go up.
I don't know if that fight was right after. Let me check the box rate because I think it was a Liam Walsh right after that. Yeah, it was Liam Walsh. So they skipped on this article. They skipped his purse for Liam Walsh. They went straight into the Fonseca, which he made $600,000 for Fonseca. Then he fought Cuellar in April for less. They both made $350. Then he fought Ruiz February 2019, and he made a milli. So yeah.
So he fought who for the milli?
He fought Hugo Ruiz.
And he got $1 million. All right, so how is
right
it?
Now, as of last year, he had a net worth of $2 million.
So out of that $1 million, half of that.
He's the most, he's the most accomplished. For the Liam Walsh fight, it was a pay-per-view. No way. Let me see this. On one fight, he had a big purse size.
I don't think I ever paid for a Gervonta.
So,
yeah, I never
okay,
paid
so they didn't make public what he made for Liam Walsh. That's what happened. But the event attracted an audience of over 250,000 viewers on Showtime. And remember, that was on like 5 o'clock or something because it was in the UK.
Yeah. But anyway, so are we trying to find out if he got paid the $1 million first in Devin or?
Well, I mean, I think he did.
Because
I haven't Googled Devin's purse. I'm gonna do that now to see if he got the $1 million for the Abdullah fight. I think he did, and if he did, then he wins. But if he didn't and he got it for the Dominican, then he lost.
Because I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, like he's been in there longer than Devin, and Devin just came in and said, "La milli, and my man's still waiting on the milli. Like you with Money May, you still ain't make the milli. Eller be shouting out that you're the only pay-per-view star and you haven't made the milli. Is like I found it hard to believe, but I wasn't going to challenge until I did the research, and I hadn't done it right now. So, hoy.
What is you doing? You know we here. Whatever you doing over there.
Oh, yes, my knuckles.
I'm trying to look here. I'm just finding a lot of odds for the Devin Haney fight with Azab Delayev.
Ain't some of this stuff kind of like in a gray area too? Don't they get money too? Since we've already confirmed and the guests have already confirmed to us that there's monies that, are
certain fighters absolutely.
Yeah. So
certain fighters, different. Not. I don't believe when it comes to DAZN, because like I said before, all their money is up front because they keep all the rights fees to all the different territories that they're in.
So let's just keep it real short with these top five.
Bro, this is crazy. I can't find anything with. Let me just put. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, just to these top five. Out of these top five guys, who's the highest paid? I'm going to go with Gervonta right now. That he's been, he's already touched the milli. You say Devin, right? I don't think Theo's touched the milli yet. Ryan definitely hasn't touched the milli yet. I mean,
Ryan he just started making $250,000. He was making $50,000 2 fights ago or 1 fight ago.
Yo, can y'all see me?
Yes,
now. We can.
Yeah, my thing broke or something. Sorry.
Nah, it's all good. Sometimes it happens. Internet's like a chaotic storm. But we're just talking about money and purses, and we were trying to find out. We don't want to put any bad information out there to see who had made the $1 million first, Gervonta or Devin. I'm thinking.
Well, I know for a fact he made the $1 million for Santiago, but I can't find anything on Abdulayev. Has anybody said anything in the chat?
No,
I can't find anything I can't find his purse for Abdulayev. Oh wait, okay. Ooh boy, is that $1 million for Devin? Where is that? Devin Haney will take home the biggest guarantee on the card.
On the card.
The biggest guarantee on the card. Guess what card we talking about? Logan freaking Paul. Think about who fought there. Didn't Andre fight on that card too?
Yes.
Oh my God! And they'd be like, "Yo, he deserve a Canelo fight." He can't even make more money than Devin Haney. Yo, y'all better stop with this Andre shit right now. Today, it must die. It must die. And look, lightweight champ Devin Haney will take home the biggest guarantee of the card, pulling in a cool $1 million against Alfredo Santiago. Wait, but but that's the Dominican. That's the Dominican, though. That's the Dominican. No, I still want the other one. I want Abdulayev.
Yeah, you got the wrong one, baby.
Damn. I was
so wait. When you start making $1 million, do you have to like keep it or it goes back down like every fight?
Well, normally you're supposed to stay, but we just seen with
unless
Tank,
you get
he went back down. With Tank. But look, they probably got Tank in his contract because remember, didn't he lose his belt with Liam Walsh on the scales? So that's probably why he went from 600 to 350.
Yeah. Well, you get a penalty, right, for the.
Well, you gonna pay a penalty on top of that, but what about with your contract? I'm sure your promoter's like, yo, champ, you just lost the belt. We make more money when you got the belt.
I don't know. I just thought like $1 million was like a milestone, and you can make $1 million, but you can't make less than that.
You don't want to, but if you're like a Devin Haney and you take a loss. You know, I could see how that somehow could knock your purse, a little bit. Not that we see the, Devin Haney losing anytime soon, but like it can happen. It can happen where you just kind of go back down. Losses, man. Like Ness said, with the belt, promoters making more money with the belt. There's more positioning, more leverage and. Ton of other stuff.
It make more sense why they be sweating that loss so hard. I thought that once you get to a certain popularity, that's what your purse was tied to, not necessarily like your wins or your losses. Because I was like, I think one time, Adrian Broner, didn't he make like $10 million against Mikey Garcia, and he had like 3 losses or something crazy like that?
That's definitely wrong for sure. He ain't made no 10 mil versus no Mikey. He wish.
Oh, but he made over $1 million.
Yeah, he's made over $1 million.
I'm talking about against Mikey though.
It probably 1.5 or 2.5, something like that.
Yeah, so I was just like, for me, I was like, when I read that, when that fight was going on, because I actually went to that fight and they were saying that the commentators and stuff, and I was like, oh, so you can lose and still keep your millions. Like I thought that was like,
well, is it AB has made himself how do you say, not a character, I don't want to call him a character, but he's made himself a persona outside of boxing too. He's in the music, he's just in a lot of places on Instagram. He's hilarious, he's funny. so he's a persona, and that has spilled over into his boxing, or should I say boxing has spilled over to that. Either way you look at it, he's marketable, and he makes these like he's a good lead up to a fight, press conference, all that stuff. So he sells. But then you got guys that are not as out there or shining out there in the medias and stuff like that take a loss, and it's like, yo, plenty of guys out there, they know how to take a loss. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're like, oh my God, my O. It's not it, but the O represents money. It represents positioning. It represents so many other things. A lot of fighters can come back from an O, and keep doing their thing and fighting, but it just knocks you down sometimes. You lose and knocks you down. And if you lose a second time, you're just like, boop, 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 boop.
That's that. Like, what type of sport can you just not lose? Like, that's tough, man. That's tough. Losing to me is a part of sport. I cannot find
anything on this Abdulayev purse, man. Maybe it's because I'm speed reading, but I can't find nothing on that purse. I know it was an eliminator, So that means he
happened
could
in
have.
Madison
It
Square.
means he could have made some money because you got to remember that's when DAZN was hot. So they paid big money for that. You know what I mean? To get the rights and to promote it. But I haven't found anything, which is crazy.
Who was the promoters on that? Was it
Eddie
Devin Haney
Hearn.
Promotions? Who has Abdulayev?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna say I know. I don't see anything. I can't find a purse on him.
Yeah, I can't find a manager.
But let me see. Where was I at with this? I must have deleted the page I had with his box rec. I want to show you at least the box rec though, and see where we are because Tank fought in February. So regardless, let me see. Haney fought November in 2009, and he fought in September. And Antonio Morgan, he fought a lot. He fought Exondani. I remember that fight, but that was on Showtime. So I'm gonna say it's a toss up, man. It's between Abdulayev and I mean, obviously we know he got paid $1 million for Santiago, but I'm gonna say I'll take the loss on that. It looks like Tank might have made it first by, I don't know, 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah.
It ain't.
That's tough.
Yeah, what's your rule, Ness? If you win by race by an inch
or a mile, a win is a win. But this is the thing, right? It's like Tank still was a champion first.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
But that's underrated. Tank should have got more money. I've been thought Tank was making $1 million.
And that's what I'm saying. He be going up and down, but I'm sure they having them conversations with him because of the things that happen in and out of the ring with him. But that being said, last but not least,
2 seconds. I don't know if you wanted me to just go real quick to the super chats. Gonna go to Gil. My man Gil says, "Give me the 5 names." This is a little earlier. Trenton Jones says, "Check Skype chat," and I think it was BJS, not Andrade. Billy Joe Saunders, not Andrade. We're gonna have to check that. Billy Joe was the one that fought on that Logan Paul card. I have to see.
I'll check.
And then another one from my man Gil, Boogie Down. Please formally introduce our new host. I just got here. I like her views already. Tell her also depends on many things. How big the fight is, your personality. Welcome, girl. Everyone be respectful, period. My man Gil, the ambassador.
Thank you.
Mr. Skipper, you go ahead.
Nah, go ahead and do the pros and cons for Shakur. I'm looking up the Haney card in Los Angeles to see who else was on there.
All right. Well, you know my man Shakur. He's a boxer. We all know him. Official. Southpaw. But let's see what the writer had to say. Pros, it says, with world-class speed, the kid can box for days and appears to have an incredibly high fight IQ. He's also an incredibly untapped star in waiting on the microphone with a charismatic personality and a love for trash talk. Yeah, I mean, he showed a lot of that trash talking in the Joette fight. That whole lead up and stuff with the beef and everything. It definitely made for a lot of drama. And, the fight game loves drama. The fans love the drama and the lead up. It's also a part of the show as well as the fight. Go ahead, Ness.
I was going to say TJ's right. It was Billy Joe on that card. He was the co-main event and didn't get paid as much as Haney. And
good job, TJ.
Ronnie Rios, Diego Pacheco, Rashad Mati, Nikita Baali. All those people were on. A few others, but no names at the moment.
But yeah, if you want me to go into the cons are the question of whether he has enough punching power to defeat the top lightweights and welterweights he'll eventually face in his path is an interesting one. Sore fears over his maturity following a brush with the law after a fight in a parking garage. He got to mention that bullshit.
How long ago was that? Wasn't
they
he
never
18?
let my man live that up. What?
No, but how long ago was that? Because he fears. Isn't he over? That's what I'm saying, yo. Oh man, it's terrible, bro. You gotta.
Bro, grown men, old the mailman delivering your mail might get into a fight. Like anybody can get into a fight. Like this, like you know what the thing is it, again, like these guys have like the limelight on them constantly, and it's just crazy.
But does it help or hurt? Like that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is it a viable point? I don't know. I think it is. Like you got to bring up the personal drama, especially when you're talking about a superstar. Because when you're talking about a superstar, you're talking about endorsements, you're talking about sponsorships. So that's part of it. It's like how clean can your image be? Like, yeah, the mailman can get into a fight, but can my $100 million fighter or $30 million fighter? No.
Totally agree with you, Dominique. Totally agree with you. When you're dealing with a guy like, let's say, that's track record hasn't been as good, like my man Adrian Broner. You know what I'm saying? But Shakur has never been in anything that I'm aware of.
It's 2 years old, man. It happened in 2018 is when he got arrested for it. I'm just saying this article is from today.
Yeah, you're mentioning something like that. It's not even worth mentioning.
So you telling me that you haven't been able to notice maturity in Shakur in 2 years? What are you waiting for? The next offense to say that he wasn't mature?
Thank you.
But that's
motherfuckers
what people
is terrible,
do.
bruh.
Like some people gonna hold on to that. Like some people are going to hold on to the controversy.
No, he's got to retire, be married with children, and train, and to be like, yeah, he had that one brusher with the law, and he showed maturity.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's why you got to try to stay away from it. I'm telling you, it's not just with fighters. It's with anything. It's like to whom much is given, much is required. Like people don't want to hear that. They want all the jewels, but no responsibility, and it just don't work like that. And I'm not saying that specifically for Shakur. I'm just saying for the concept of him bringing it up. I feel like it's a good point. I feel like it's an important point when you're talking about a superstar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, and again, I totally agree with that. If it was a bad track record, but it's just I don't know. Whatever point he was trying to drill to the public. I guess on this show right now, we could totally say that he's shown the maturity already. He's been in fights. He's never, been off weight or nothing like that. Any brushes with the law or anything outside like that hasn't happened. So yeah, we know that he's shown the maturity already.
I was just gonna say, man, look, Mike Tyson wasn't a role model, and it didn't affect him or his pay-per-view sales. Floyd Mayweather ain't no, Boy Scout, and it ain't affect his pay-per-view sales. So we'll see.
And when you can do that, that's an amazing thing. Like when you got a team behind you that can clean up your mess per se, because we all have mess. It's not just putting that on the fighters, but when you got a team behind you that can clean up your mess and make it bankable, then you good. But everybody don't have that. And it can be a really tough road when you're your own obstacle. It can be a really tough road. Like let your challenges be in the fight. Like, let them be your hardest challenges in terms of your career, not necessarily the things that you're doing outside of the ring.
Yeah, I mean, we've had both types of the spectrum, so to speak, guys that are squeaky clean, that represent, certain type of image, and they've had great success, sponsors, good money. I think AJ is one of those guys. And then you got guys like Floyd, and who didn't have a sponsor until like towards the end of his career, and he was able to just hold it down on their own. But in the fight game period, you know that you're going to get, and it's sad to say, right? It's not that you're going to get these guys doing something wrong. Is that a lot of craziness comes with the life, especially when you're young and you're taking on a lot of money at the same time, attention, fame. There's just so much going on in a sports. Athletic sports person period's life that even outside of boxing, football, whatever you want to. It's a lot of things that come at you along with the game that you're in. So these mistakes happen and stuff like that. Some guys never come back from it. Some guys show stuff in the ring that you're just never gonna take that stain off, like Margarito. Mm-hmm. And what was it? It was Panama Joe. And that's what was it?
Panama Lewis,
guys that have really done some really, really horrible
crazy
things.
Yeah.
But these guys do crazy stuff outside the ring. We got my man Earl, who thank God he's alive.
That
He's with
hurts.
us. He's with us, and he's gonna fight, and he's still able to do what he got to do. But like, you do stupid stuff sometimes. Yeah, you do stupid things sometimes, man. And the reason me and Ness is looking at this the way we're looking at it is not to say that it's not a good point, Dominique. It's just that they don't let some fighters live it up. They don't let them live it up. So. Yeah, but I don't know, Nessa. Did you want to go into that other list? Talk about maybe some other guys like Edgar Berlanga?
Actually, no, man. We got to get into who do you guys think will be the first superstar out of this 5? And we got to get to those callers because remember, we got overtime in a matter of minutes. You could join us on patreon.com/The Boxing Voice at 10:45 for another episode of Overtime where we're going to be discussing Twitter abusing its power. It's kind of Trump versus Twitter right now, and it might not be the popular opinion, but I think they are abusing their power, even though Trump is a piece of work. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about it.
Shadow ban Trump.
We'll talk about it on Overtime along with maybe one or two other things. You can join us on patreon.com/The Boxing Voice at 10:45 right now. The number to call in to discuss the Who's Got Next topic. 5 rising champions under 25 ready to become future stars. Who do you believe will be the first superstar out of this 5? Or did we get it wrong? Is there someone not on this list that will become a superstar before this 5? Dominique, final thoughts. Who is your number 1? Like, who do you think will become that superstar first?
Young Swagger.
Haney?
Young Swagger. Yeah, he got the right people behind him. He got the hype. People get really excited about him, and they're getting excited about him quick and fast, and it's growing exponentially. That's whose highlights are popping up on my timeline. I'm going with Young Swagger.
Young Swagger. Doomsday, who do you think will be the superstar first?
Man, I mean, Gervonta Davis has already got a head start. So if I'm just gonna be like factual, I'm gonna go with my man Gervonta. Teofimo, however, if he does capture this win over Lomachenko, is gonna be huge, and I don't know where exactly that puts him, man, but it puts him in a super great position. But I'm going to go with Gervonta, man. Gervonta got the head start, and I think that he definitely got the right people behind him.
You know, he does have the head start, and he is going to get that pay-per-view so that we can get that test, which may set him up for stardom. You know, a successful pay-per-view it'll be easy to crown him a star, but for some reason I feel like Teofimo has the same opportunity and is in a better position because his pay-per-view will be against Lomachenko, and it won't be, it won't be even comparable. If Teofimo beats Vasil, what can Gervonta Davis say even if he knocks out Leo Santa Cruz? Like, how would their star power be on the same level? But again, to make my own argument, Tank is in with the bigger name. Yes, Vasil's the bigger name within boxing in terms of who's better, but does he draw more? Is he known more? You know, is Tank going to get more casuals to tune in? Is he going to sell more pay-per-views because Leo? But I think they're 1A and 1B, man. To be superstar first, because they both have the setup. They both already got the pay-per-views with worthy opponents that will give us the answer that we need. TJ, my bad, champ. I'm going to open up the Cash App and keep it open. Looks like he sent us a super chat. He ain't trying to use, YouTube knowing that they rip us and take 30%. And he actually posted it in the Skype. Let me see what you said here, champ.
He said a super chat on the chat. Bro, you going to check the Cash App? Not trying to use YouTube.
Where he's at here. You want to resend it to me, champ? Might have got buried. I mean, jeez. All right, Sony.
Man, and again, like, this is a hot top 5, right, Dominique? Like, Ryan Garcia too. Like, you just don't know how fast these guys are gonna get fast tracked.
Nah,
Yeah,
man.
you don't know.
Ryan on that slow pace. I'm telling you, we picked the first two that are gonna be put in that position to be a star.
Immediate. If so, Linares is definitely not making it out here. Or it's still kind of like maybe.
I mean, he ain't gonna make it for Ryan fight in time for Ryan fight. TJ, I don't see what you want me to super chat. Okay, here you go. He says, straight Latin bias and Perpin. We was all clowning Loma like Nello. They both ducked. Difference is you brushed it off and said who could beat Kovalev. Stop the BS. It's not the same. Carl Moretti, Top Rank, and Vasil asked for the status. They asked for it. They were present. I interviewed them. The promoter states it on my interview. Totally different from Canelo being granted because the WBC realizes he's the biggest name. So by giving the biggest name the status, other people will accept and or request like Vasil did. Totally not the same. Totally not the same. Now, can or could Canelo have said, no, I don't want it? Yeah, but did he know what was going to happen? I don't know. I'm not in his head to know that he knew that, you know, he would get some sort of backlash. But let me get to the callers, man. We're running behind here. Let me open it up and get out to everybody.
It is hard to continue developing.
Wrong one.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right, we're going out to Ringer. Is Josh in North Carolina? Talk to me.
Salute, TBV. What's up, y'all?
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Hey, man, Devin Haney, man, kind of a no-brainer. As soon as the zone follow through, he's smart. Well, I can say if he's smart, he probably will go to the money thing. But if Floyd's smart, he would promote him where he could be another Floyd. Not saying he's like Floyd or fight like Floyd, but you could tell he reminds Floyd of himself with his work ethic and all that, and he can play the villain role. But I want to ask y'all a question. Y'all think in the near future y'all can do a show on the most overrated boxers?
Sure.
All right. I just want to know that. I'll be back for overtime. Overrated. I'll be back for overtime. I'll let y'all.
All right. We're going out to Kingborn, Brooklyn. What up?
Hey, Ness. Give me like 10 extra seconds. I got to ask you how, since I'm a Patreon member, how I get on the overtime and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been calling in. I don't know how to, I'm a Patreon member. I'm a $3 tier. How I get on that? Go ahead.
The Patreon overtime is for 15 and up, champ.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. All right, so listen, let's go with Listen, let me tell you something, man. Teofimo, mature, calm. I think he got a purpose and everything. And I love what Dominique said. Shout out to you, baby girl. I love what you said. This dude, he's taking a chance. This dude is taking a chance. He's the only one that's taking chances. You know what I'm saying? And like we said, he may not be ready for Teofimo, but at least we going to see. He got heart, and he going for his. Because even though he's young and maybe, he might be fast track, you still got to fight. You don't know what's going to happen unless you get on the ring and fight. All this posturing, all this, I don't know.
Cut it.
joint. Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
Well, I mean, just hung up. So we're going to go to, I think this is Brandon in Cincinnati. What up?
What up, Ness? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, man, yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Dominique. Dominique, I'm glad you're on the show, but, man, you got to do something about that nickname. Young Swagger, that's kind of lame. I'm thinking like of an early 2000s low-budget mixtape rapper. That's what comes to mind when I hear shit like Young
Man,
Swagger.
I'm gonna work on it.
So, but other than the lame nickname, yeah, I agree. I'll go with Devin Haney, man. He's mature. He's got the skill set. He's got a dad in his corner. That's a big thing. He's got a father figure in his life and showing him the positives and showing him the way on the business side. So, yeah, I had to go with Devin. Yeah, we got to think of a new nickname, though, but that's my call.
All right, let's go to Caesar Vegas. Talk to us. What up?
Good morning, y'all. So, just give you my quick top five in my own order. I definitely do believe that Devin Haney has the faster track, just by the way he's moving, working with Floyd and all that. So after Devin Haney, I could see Teofimo, because he is getting that big fight with Loma. After Teo, I would put Tank, because of the controversy, either way, And after Tank, I would have to put Shakur, and then Ryan. That would be my top five. But, great show, guys. I got to move this lift, so TV for life, baby.
Caesar, man, thanks for calling in. We're going out to New Orleans.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, that comment. Come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. We're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yeah, what's up, Ness? I just text you. I'm just listening. I'm at the barbershop. Can't really talk.
All right, champ, no problem. Thanks for calling in and using us while you get your haircut. We're going out to Florida. Keem, what up?
El gran campeón puertorriqueño, Davis, Tito Trinidad.
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch the gloves and go to work. Tonight, Roy. Let's go to work.
Yo, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Yeah, man. I mean, I got kind of the same, I guess, five as everybody else. Tank, Devin, Shakur, Ryan. I put Edgar Berlanga in there. I think out of those five, Tank is probably the most famous of them right now. He's probably the one that's closest to being a superstar. He's just, for whatever reason, a lot of casual fans know Tank. I mean, a ton. Like, it's just from little things like the Shade Room and, just him dealing with rappers and the people see him with Casanova and, just stuff like that. It seems that a lot of people just know who he is by face and they associate him with Floyd. But I think the best shot is Devin. He's got the best team around him. And Shakur, Devin and Shakur got the best teams around them as a whole. But I see Devin probably being the one to actually to be the one to take off and be that next real superstar. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Appreciate the show.
All right. Talk to us, man. We had went to you on Blog Talk. You switched to Skype on us. Talk to us.
King, we don't hear you.
I guess he listening. We're going to Orlando. Sid, talk to us.
Hey, man, what up?
Everybody need to like this video and subscribe to Patreon so y'all can get on those next calls. But I'ma only give like what I think my top three is, and I'm gonna go with Tank just because of the way as quick as he was selling out them tickets over there in Georgia. Everybody got him lined up for the pay-per-view already. Then I'm gonna go with Teofimo Lopez because he jumping on that unification with Loma. And then third, I'm gonna just go with Devin Haney because I don't think he gonna get none of them good fights, but his name just buzzing because of Floyd. So the rest of them, they whatever. That's all I got.
Sid, thanks for calling in. Sony, Cincinnati.
Chin.
Hey, good morning, TVV. What's good?
Buenos dias, champ.
Morning.
Hey, yo. I don't know, man. I'm still riding with. Now, my personal choice is I want to see Core make it out of that pack, but for some reason I'm still riding high with Teofimo. It's something about that kid that I like. I don't know if it's personality, doing the backflips in the ring, but it's something about that boy that that really got me like riding high with this dude. That's why I put my money on him on every one of his fights. So I'm gonna go with Teofimo Lopez, then I'm gonna go with Shakur, and then I'm gonna go with Tank Davis, and I don't know what it is, but Floyd Mayweather putting Devin Haney under his wing. Now, when we first started talking about Devin Haney, or when I first started talking about Devin Haney, I said, cut it.
Champ, and I've been wanting to cut you because of your internet, but I just respected you, and I said just let him talk. But you were choppy.
He was a little choppy, but I got it. He's standing behind Teo and Shakur. He actually has Teo and Shakur before Gervonta.
Also, real quick, I know I'm not the person to be giving help with pronunciation. I understand that, but Teofimo, right, is like Theo, right? Mm-hmm. It's not Tio, it's Theo, like uncle in Spanish, and then add the Fimo. So kind of like FEMA without the A, Fimo. Theo, Fimo, not Tio, not Telefono. People be coming. I don't even know how they be getting Telefomo, Telefimo. It's like, how you calling my man Telefimo? Like, he ain't got no phone. But poor guy gets everything. But again, it's uncle in Spanish. Theo. Add the Fimo. This sounds very much like FEMA. Teofimo.
Teofimo.
There you go.
That's better than
Google. Oh, shook. You did it. She did it. Let's go out to Stainless in Detroit. Stainless, and we want to see if you learned how to pronounce Teofimo with us and Dora. Remember Dora used to do that? How do you say Teofimo?
Let's go, Diego.
Red belt, black belt, WO and green. I'm king. Undisputed GOAT, TBE. And you can catch the news first on TBV. Voice of the people, now let me speak. Scientists of the sweet, BOXING.
TBV, what's good?
What up?
Yo, how I sound, man? I'm on at work, so I'm on Bluetooth.
Sound good, man. All you
Sound
gotta do now is pronounce Mr. Lopez's first name.
You talk about Telemundo?
I used to watch.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's a Spanish station.
Oh man, no. What'd you say, Teofimo? That's what's up.
Yeah.
No, but I'm still gonna go with Devin Haney. The kid always just had a buzz, man. Even before I saw him, I'd heard of him. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing video of either other people talking about him or him doing interviews. He's never backing down from challenging either an up and comer, a champion. Like he show he ain't scared. Like he do the stuff you want to see people do. Like he get in the ring and challenge other people. He challenge you to your face. You know what I'm saying? Challenge you on any form of social media you get on. Like the kids, he look like the goods. You know, he sound like the goods, and so far he back it up. So I gotta agree with Brandon. He gotta change that nickname. That ain't working. But it's good to see these other young stars, man. I mean, what's Gervonta's going through his situation, but and Shakur had.
Yo, Dominique, keep calling them that because they just not Jay-Z influenced, you know what I'm saying? Young swag is like, that's like a Jay-Z thing, you know what I'm saying? He like,
well, Swagger is sophisticated. I pick Swagger because I don't look at him like a young boy. He don't got that young boy swag. He got that grown man appeal. And that's why I put that, the swagger, the whole word. But
he definitely got a grown man girlfriend, so he ain't no boy. Y'all need to stop playing.
I mean, but I got to look at the test market. It's not testing well, right? So he want him to be a superstar. He got to have a nickname that tests well.
Yeah, I mean, his official nickname is The Dream, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
You don't like The Dream?
The Dream. That's
Gervonta is the one. No? Sounds like what we talking about. His name is The One. His nickname. Not that ain't work for you?
The Truth. The One. It's a... Oh, man. Boxing names.
Castle Hill Gill, what it do? BX, stand up, champ.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning, Dominique. Welcome.
Good morning.
Nice to have a new face and a new perspective on. I'm gonna tell you like this: the only two that will become superstars will be Devin Haney and Shakur Stevens. And that's because they're on the right path. They're not being rushed, and they will become what is a superstar. A big difference between a superstar and a star, and we can talk about that another day. Gervonta, unfortunately, does not have the discipline to become a superstar, so I don't believe he ever will be. Teofimo, unfortunately, has been put on a path to perhaps, fail. Believe Loma might take that one. As much as I like the kid, don't think he's ready for that. And I think the odds are going to show it as the fight gets closer. And then who the fuck is Ryan Garcia? So that's my opinion on those guys. Love the fact you guys got somebody new. I'll check in a little bit later, Ness. I'm working on what you got me working on. Love everybody. Loved everybody in LA. Info. Everybody, Stainless. You know how it is, man. Can't wait to see y'all. And that's my call. Checking in, checking out. Peace.
Castle Hill Gill, man, thank you as always for calling in and the continued support. We're going to Steve, Chicago. Talk to me.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Morning.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hey, what are we talking about here? Who's going to be the biggest star?
Who's the next star? Generation? Who's the next star out of these 5 rising champions? And who's got the most potential? Who's got the most potential to be the next star?
I think you got to go with Tank and Theo, and then Haney. Only because Haney, he's fighting on the app. Theo and Tank, they got more eyes on them. Tank, if he does this pay-per-view, Theo is on ESPN, a lot more eyes on him than Haney. Haney, if he changes his career later, I could see him being, I think he's got to sign with a different promoter. But yeah, that's all I got. And Ryan, we got to see, Ryan keeps winning. I've already told you, I think Ryan could be the biggest star, but he's got to win. We don't know that.
I wonder.
He's on the hat.
I wonder now. Thanks for calling in, Steve. I wonder now with everything that's going on, if Floyd can steal Devin away, and I don't mean break contract. I mean now that we're hearing rumors of Dazn, and these ain't rumors. Financial Times is not They don't care about boxing. They don't care about Eddie Hearn. They don't have a bias for Al Heyman. They could give two craps about Bob Arum. They report on the financial news in America. So let's just stop with the biasness and Eddie's little spin talking about, oh, don't hear everything you read. Don't listen to the Financial Times? Okay. Okay, Eddie. I'll try not to listen to them. Cool. Right. The owner isn't out there looking for a partner and selling shares, everything he could. Come on. So maybe Devin thinks about that and says, time to bounce, Dad. Time to bounce.
Or how about even like a co-managing, even if Mayweather didn't want to be like a promoter?
Yeah, I wouldn't put more hands in a cookie jar. Like, why do
I was about to say,
why do I need another manager if I'm gonna stay right where I'm at? Like, you could, whatever advice you want to give it to me for free. You trying to charge me?
Man.
Let me go to Sony on the counterpunch.
Ness, can you hear me better now?
Clearly.
All right, good. Well, first of all, F you, Ness. And second of all, until you start calling Terrence Crawford just Terrence Crawford and stop butchering this name, I won't call Teofimo Lopez Taco Fimo. So how about that? So and
I'll be butchering Terrence's name?
What? Yeah, with the bud tenders and all that. Yeah, when I stop hearing that, then you won't hear Taco Fimo. Hey, no. But seriously, talk. Devin Haney, Tank Davis. I think Floyd Mayweather putting Devin Haney under his wing is going to fire up Tank Davis so bad he gonna put a hole through that kid's hand, and I hope he don't, because I got mad respect for Devin Haney and I want to see him shine. All right, see you in overtime.
Speaking of overtime, it is time to skedaddle. We're going out to Stone Bone to finish us up. Talk to me, Colorado.
Yeah, man. I thought it was Teo, man. Like my homie is Mateo. His name is Mateo, and his is Teo. So I always thought it was Teo. But I think Teo is Theo is in a better position with the Lomachenko fight. Shakur is pushing for unifications. Tank is just pushing for fights. Like they're not trying to unify with Tank. They're not trying to make him like the respected #1 guy in that division. So I think he can be a star, but what separates superstar from star is discipline and activity. And I don't think he's disciplined enough. And I don't think missing weight and losing belts and all that builds you to be a superstar. Star, that's a different question. There's a million stars in the sky. There ain't a lot of suns that you recognize every day of your life. Tank is probably a star. But Devin got the look, he got the swag, he got the presence, he got Bill Haney behind him, he got the mentality of the boss. He the only one that's co-promotion. He the only one that got an actual stake in his promotion. Everybody else is.
Agreed. That's the point I tried to make, but I messed up by saying who made a mill first. But, he's got the bigger deal. We're going to 682. I apologize if we should have your name. Sorry. 682, who's this?
No, I'm a new caller, St. Joseph.
All right, St. Joseph, man. I wish you wouldn't have said that. I'd have played that first time caller intro, but thanks for calling. You said Sam Joseph?
Yeah, it's Joseph, but I go by Saint. That's my first name.
Saint Joseph. All right.
Yeah.
Santo, talk to us.
Exactly. Hey, but I think Devin Haney, he's on the right track, especially if he's getting with Mayweather. Then imagine him walking out with Mayweather. That'd be crazy. Like, everybody's about to tune in. So I think Devin Haney's going to be on the right track. As for Gervonta, I think he's already got it. He's got all the casuals because just the style, the way he dresses, the music, everything's like popping with him. You just look at him knocking out people also, so that's just a plus. And Ryan Garcia, you can't forget about those followers, especially if they give him that, like you said, that golden boy diet. He's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And, yeah, that's about it.
All right, champ. St. Joseph, we got you, man. Thank you for calling in. Now we're getting some stragglers jumping in last minute. Listen, we're closing it out. I'm about to even throw out a beat, old school outro beat on y'all. Let me see if I got this guy down here. I do. This is Junior. talk to us in Stockton. Oh, he dropped off. Damn. I was going to you, Junior. You're going to hit it playback and be very upset. Let me see. We went to Castle Hill Gill. We got that. All right. So that's everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let me see. I owe Stainless a boomerang. Talk to me, Stainless. Not taking it. You at work. Just listening for now. Perfect. All right. We'll catch us on the next one. We're going to transition to overtime over on patreon.com/, the boxing voice, where we're going to discuss Twitter and how much power they have over what it is that you say and what they can do with what it is that you say. And we're even going to sprinkle in a little bit of Doomy's favorite Donald Trump in there. So join us on patreon.com/ the boxing voice. I really wish that Mario would have been on, being as though he's a, huge politician type of guy. We got a last minute super chat from Ivan that says, next star Devin Haney. This game requires best training and healthy living with good team behind you, no tank, and will be like Haney. He is the future. All right, well, there you go. Ivan, thanks for the super chat. Patreon.com/ the boxing voice at 10:45 for overtime. I am Nesta Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO.
Dominique Paramore. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Bougie Boxing. That's BOUGIE Boxing.
Chimp, you can catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_LAINEZ. Same handle for TikTok, Twitter, AlexLinusTBV. And don't forget, hit that notification bell. Because if you don't hit it, you won't know when we're going live. You won't know when we're going overtime. You won't know when we're going untitled. So much content to offer here at the Boxing Voice. You want to consume all of it, being a Patreon or whether you're still on our YouTube family, still, teetering whether or not you're going to jump in with us on the Patreon family. Buy us a cup of coffee, buy us, a sandwich, or if not, go for the pizza pie, $15, you get to spend a month with us. And if you don't like it, you take a walk. If you like it, welcome to the family. And I'm out.
Peace.